Okay, ignoring whatever the hell this was, Madonna has made 2 real movies at this point. Shanghai Surprise sucked, but Desperately Seeking Susan kind of worked, right? And what was she in that? She was a crazy street girl screwing up some lame yuppie's life while a lot of people are looking for her, trying to kill her. There's your movie. Just make Madonna the main character and take out the boring parts and speed up the tempo so it's like a real comedy this time. There. Perfect. Golden. This is it. This is the film that's going to make Madonna the multimedia superstar of the 80s.
Everybody comes to Hollywood. They're gonna make it in the neighborhood.
Madonna's reputation as box office poison rests on 5 high-profile mega bombs. Shanghai Surprise was the first, this is the second. In fact, 1987 was kind of a bad year all around for Madonna. Increasingly volatile marriage, half-baked soundtrack that really hasn't held up well, and of course there's the movie itself, which was one of the most notorious flops of 1987. Allegedly, it was also going to star Sean Penn, but after Shanghai Surprise, it was decided Madonna and Sean probably shouldn't work together again. Or be married, or talk to each other ever, but that came later. Okay, so once again, and I think for the last time, Madonna will be playing the zany, manic foil to some stick-up-the-ass rich guy, here played by human punching bag Griffin Dunne. The dynamic is pretty much identical to the old classic film Bringing Up Baby, right up to the dork glasses and the wild jungle cat. We'll get to it. So this is just a screwball comedy. It's not nearly as ambitious as some of Madonna's other well-known fiascos. How did it become one of the most notorious bombs of a year that included Jaws the Revenge, Leonard Part 6, and Ishtar? Well, let me tell you, one of the joys of perusing my way through the Madonna filmography is that all her movies seem to be bad in completely different ways. And Who's That Girl adds yet another flavor to the rainbow of badness. Obnoxious.
Oh, God!
Who's That Girl is loud, fatuous nonsense is who that girl is. Like, you know movies like, I don't know, 1941, which, you know, technically are comedies, but seem to think noise and screaming is the same thing as a joke? Well, that's what this movie is. It's just 90 minutes of screaming, babbling gibberish. The first time I watched it, it made absolutely no sense to me. I watched it a second time and it made more sense, but it was still just a complete headache. And there's a lot of reasons why, but here's Exhibit A.
Hello. Look at him. How can you talk to somebody at a time like this? Huh? I spent 4 years of my life in the hole, waiting for the chance to get out and clear my name, and I will know vengeance.
You may notice that Madonna's interpretation of her character appears to be about to break out a rendition of Santa Baby at any moment. Now, you might ask, wouldn't this get annoying really quickly?
Why not? The bus doesn't leave for half an hour, and I can't go back to Philly without any presents with my mom. She thinks I've been shopping.
Ha ha ha! What are you talking about? What's wrong with the way she talks? Okay, so the plot is that Madonna is a convict, wrongfully accused of murder, who is just getting paroled at the beginning of the movie.
You are to report immediately to your parole officer and every 2 weeks thereafter. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Got any mascara?
And some tweezers. Oh, I'm bad. Anyway, the plot is a little complicated. The backstory is summed up in an opening animated sequence, which I probably should have paid more attention to. Well, anyway, here's a quick recap.
I was praying, Loudon. Johnny finds out about this big white collar guy who's into a lot of bogus stuff. Then Johnny puts it all in a safety deposit box and he gives me the key. See? Raul stuffs the body in the trunk of my car. I don't know what's there. I take a red light. The cops stop me. They find Johnny in a lot of pieces in the back of my car.
Got all that? Good. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Griffin Dunne is a lame tax attorney about to get married, but first he has to take Madonna to the bus station at the behest of his boss, who is also his future father-in-law.
I was thrilled when you and Wendy decided to get engaged. You know that, huh?
Sir, you set my desk on fire.
And he also has to bring a wild cougar to the house of some other rich guy.
Shit! This thing ate Mr. Bell's cat? No, Einstein, that is the cat.
Okay, the first one happens because the dad-in-law is actually the bad guy and Madonna has some dirt on him and he wants to make sure she's out of the picture. The second one happens because who the hell knows? Sped up footage to indicate comical speed has been funny a grand total of 0 times in history, but no, I think finally we'll get it right this time. Anyway, he picks her up, and because she's wacky, she's about to turn his life upside down. LOL, how zany.
Oh my God, you robbed that store.
Okay, so she's not a murderer, but she's clearly a psychotic danger to society. Our hero. And she has this key to the evidence, and somehow they just let her carry it around the entire 4 years she's been in jail. I don't know how that works. But really, pointing out plot holes like that is a complete and utter waste of time, because at some point I realized none of this was supposed to make sense. It's a cartoon. It's more of a cartoon than the opening cartoon is a cartoon. Like, they get attacked by Pimp Lou Bega, and then the bad guys fall from a 60th floor window into the river.
No, we did one of your things already. We murdered the pimp and the fat man. Now it's time to do one of my things.
Okay, that's kind of funny. What's not funny is when they show up later, still alive, covered in seaweed that they apparently didn't bother to remove. That's not funny, that's dumb. More importantly, it's a sign that nothing is going to follow any rules or make any sense whatsoever, even a little. Which would be okay if it were funny, but...
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Boo!
Boo hoo.
Don't cry, we'll take the apartment.
Yeah. I can't tell you that every joke fails, but more than half, I'd say, are beyond witless. For example, there are these two cops that keep following them around, and they're clearly gay. I mean, they hint at it the entire movie. They're a gay couple.
Well, I picked up the wide rice with the French morel mushrooms on a bed of radicchio lettuce. There's a little Dijon dressing on the side. I got that for you.
But check out the payoff for this running joke. At the end of the movie, it turns out that these two gay cops are gay! Haha! It's like that classic SNL sketch, the blatantly gay duo. This is how jokes work, right? But it's more than just the bad jokes, it's just that it's so goddamn annoying otherwise. Madonna goes to buy a gun. Griffin comes to find her. This happens? Why did he start shooting? Who knows? No one can do anything in this movie without screaming, breaking something, shooting at someone, driving into something. Look, the plot requires her to lose the key for a few scenes. How does that happen?
Oh, see, the clasp is broken. I can get this fixed.
Hey! Give me that key! I want my key! Give me that key!
I didn't edit that. First it was all quiet and then random screaming. This is not screwball comedy. This is mentally disordered in need of lithium comedy. Hey, here's just the movie in a nutshell. And yeah, the sad thing is that it's got its moments. Like, there are a few jokes I like in here, like the prenup Griffin Dunn has to sign.
Everything I own, the cars, the houses, the business, someday none of it will be yours.
Or when he finally gets the Puma to the other rich guy's house.
Excuse the mess. I recently lost Elwood, my housekeeper.
He quit?
No. I lost him. I think he's in the West Wing somewhere. Sometimes at night, I think I hear him crying.
Yeah, you see, there's some jokes, but then he takes the cat up to his rooftop jungle habitat, and it has monkeys, birds, all sorts of animals, which I assume the cougars will kill and eat at some point, and...
Well, I've got to go. Make yourself at home. Sorry I'm late. I had some rather important guests.
What? Oh yeah, and there's a love story here for God knows what reason. I guess Griffin Dunn is turned on by abuse, but, you know, I can at least see what he likes in Madonna's manic pixie dream harpy. I mean, she is Madonna after all, but what in God's name does she see in him?
You and I are stuck together like glue. Like Mutt and Jeff, Amos and Andy, Frick and Frack, Spick and Span, Yin and Yang, Arm and Hammer, Pork and Beans.
I know it's not supposed to be some kind of grand romance or anything, but still, it's kind of like watching a love story starring Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny in drag. And then it all ends with a massive clusterfuck, as you do. The bridesmaids have been tied up for days, no one does anything, they have to fence to catch the bad guy, there's cake, whatever. The amount of complete bizarre world shit that happens in this movie is overwhelming and exhausting. and then they go off to live happily ever after. Or at least until she inevitably leaves him, puts on a clown outfit, and falls in love with the Joker. For the record, because it's got pace and energy and occasionally a decent gag, this is really not the worst Madonna movie ever. And I don't even think Madonna is all that bad in this. Turning yourself into a cartoon character is hard, and she pulled that off at least. But having your lead character be intentionally irritating and still be likable, even if you're a comic genius, this is something you need everything working in perfect order to pull off. And you're not going to get that from the writer of Grease 2 and the director of such comedy masterpieces as Fear and Glenn Ross. Besides, Madonna isn't Cyndi Lauper, she's Madonna. She should be playing Madonna. But after 2 back-to-back mega bombs, Madonna wasn't quite ready to do that yet, so we won't be seeing one of the big disasters for a while. But that doesn't mean she won't have some minor disasters waiting for us in the meantime.
I know 24-hour chapel over in Hackensack where you don't even need a blood test.
Madonna?
You don't say.
Bloodhounds of Broadway. Tonight the laughs are strictly on the house.